Is the housing market heading for a crash, or are things actually just returning to normal? Hi, this is Andrew with the S2 Real Estate Team here in Frisco, Texas. Today I am with my faithful assistant Bailey there, who's looking out the window, keeping an eye on the housing market for us. Well, I wanted to dive into this a little bit today with you because the media reports the last couple of weeks, it's been crash talk, crash, 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 crash at a frenzied pace. And I'm not here today to say, yes, the market's going to crash. No, the market isn't going to crash. Nobody knows exactly for sure what's going to happen. We know that already, right? If you go back to the beginning of the pandemic, how many reports did we see that housing is doomed? The market's going to crash because of the pandemic. And look at what happened. The market actually took off like nobody expected. So again, I'm not here to do that. What I'd like to do is just share with you the latest facts, figures, data, and provide a little bit of perspective so that you can make the best decision for you. That is the most important thing overall. So let's take a look again, quick recap on how did we get here, right? If you've seen any of my videos in the past, when we talk, especially when we talk about home prices, you'll know that the massive run up in home prices that we've been experiencing, or we had experienced, was due to a huge imbalance between supply and demand. You had exceptionally low supply and very high demand. Now, one can argue that much of that demand was artificial due to the fact of record low mortgage rates. I mean, mortgage rates, 30-year fixed mortgage rates at 2.75, 3% is not sustainable. And it created a situation that actually put us where we are today. It caused even more pressure on supply, and it caused demand to shoot through the roof. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting reports that, oh my gosh, well, pending home sales are down. Oh my gosh, this is happening. Oh my gosh, that is happening. And a lot of these are being compared to last year, which was an all-time record year. So if things are going to slow down and normalize, we can't be running redlining all the time either. Things have to settle down. And that's actually what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing in the data right now. So just a couple of numbers to share with you here. Existing home sales, it was reported, were down 5.4% in June. That is undoubtedly due to higher mortgage rates. Higher mortgage rates has taken an impact on demand. But what the reports don't often say is that 88% of all of the homes that sold within 30 days. So time on market is still very, very low. Yes, it's not hours or just a couple of days after being listed that the home is sold. But historically, for homes to sell within 30 days, that's really good. We used to assess things after about 45 to 60 days on that conversation with a seller on, let's analyze what's happened and do we need to take a price reduction or take a price cut now? So you are seeing a little bit of panic in the market on the sell side, right? So that is why you're seeing a few more price reductions than you might, but you're also going to naturally see price reductions due to the fact that demand is falling, and that's okay, right? Year over year, home prices are continuing to go up due to the fact that when you look at where home prices were a year ago and how much they rose, you're starting to see the year over year appreciation numbers still there. That's going to settle down. You're going to see that come all the way down. Are there going to be markets in the country where you could see some negative pricing? Absolutely. Do I think we're going to see anything catastrophic? There's nothing in the data to reflect it yet. And if it does appears, I will absolutely let you know. The other thing that came out is that housing starts slipped 2% in June and are down 15.7% year over year. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. With that, it's important to keep in mind that we have been underbuilt with regards to new construction for about 14 years in a row now. So the builders have been ramping up, ramping up, ramping up. But when they were trying to bring more product to market, we ran into all the supply chain issues that were caused by the pandemic. So the amount of time it's taking to complete a new home was getting longer and longer and longer. My wife works for a home builder. They are pulling back due to how much is already in the pipeline. So even though you're seeing new starts fall, the amount of homes under construction, the amount of homes in the pipeline right now is actually at the highest level since 1970. The builders learned their lesson in 2007, 8, and 9. They got stung bad. So, are there going to be builders that have some exposure here that have too many things in the pipeline? Very possibly. But you're already starting to see the new home builders move aggressively with incentives and closing cost assistance to try and move the product that they currently have. So, as I said right at the beginning, it's not all bad news. Let's not forget that it wasn't long ago that buyers were frustrated. They got burned out. They were sick of making offer after offer after offer. How much above list price do we need to bid? What's it going to take to get this house? All of that's going away, right? The multiple offers, the bidding wars, it's all going away, and things are starting to settle back down to normal. So again, with regards to home prices and where we are going forward, as of right now, as you can see on this graph, there is about 3 months supply of homes nationally. 3 months is not a bad number. I mean, we were running exceptionally low for so long. Remember, it takes about 5.5 to 6 months worth of supply in order for the real estate market to be considered balanced. Here in Frisco, Texas, we currently have about 2.2 months supply. In neighboring Prosper, there is 3.7 months. So Prosper is higher, but Prosper's also had a lot of new construction over the last couple of years, and the builders have gone ahead and listed a lot of those properties in the MLS now. Many of them are homes that are not going to be ready until November, December, January, February, but they've started to put them in to start getting more exposure for them now. So with regards to the local market, let me just point a couple things out for you here as I share my screen. Many of you may have seen this before. This is a market update that Troy, my business partner, and I put out every single Monday. And although this one's for Frisco, Texas, as of today, you can put any city or zip code in the search box right here and get the exact same data that I'm showing you right here for that city of your choice. If you want to receive that automatically each and every week, just go ahead and click that subscribe button and you will be good to go. So first and foremost, we always look at the market action index. It's kind of a quick snapshot of how's the market. Think of it like a speedometer. The farther over that needle is to the right, the hotter the market is. So right now, the market is running at a market index reading of 71, which is down from 81 of last month. Okay, so still shows that the market is cooling, but it's still an incredibly strong seller's market. But it has changed rapidly. Just a couple of months ago, we were pegged all the way over at 100. So things are starting to slip back. The thing here is, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, average days on market, 88% of the homes that had sold in June were on market less than 30 days. So right here, the average days on market as of today is 31. Median days is at 21. But what I did want to point out is with regards to, are we normalizing or are we doing something different? Inventory tells us a lot. So you might remember that a lot of the problem that we got into was exceptionally low inventory, very high demand. Now, inventory can only come from one of three places. Either existing homeowners put their homes up for sale, new construction, or foreclosures. Okay, now, as I mentioned before, we are starting to see on the new construction side, the builders pull back on the number of homes that they're starting construction on. But they've got a lot in the pipeline already. So we are going to see more inventory come there. With regards to existing homeowners, what happens going forward is going to be interesting because it depends why that person's moving, right? If they're downsizing or it's a corporate relocation, that's one thing. If it's a move by choice, it's got to be a very good move by choice, because what we're starting to see now, many sellers are saying, well, I refinance and I now have a mortgage rate of 2.75 or 3%. Do I really want to sell and get rid of that and buy a more expensive house at a rate of 5.5 or 5.75%? Right. So it's a question many are starting to ask, and some are saying that no, we'll make do where we are for the time being. But with regards to inventory, one of the things that we usually see if the market is going to be turning drastically or heading into any sort of free fall is you'll see a huge climb in inventory. Back in 08, 09, you saw inventory balloon to 9, 10 months in many cases. As I already mentioned, here in Frisco, just over 2 months, nationally about 3 months. But right here on the far right side, you're actually going to see that the 7-day average for the last week, inventory ticked down with regard to the new listings. Okay, that's an important point to make because normally this time of year, that's what we see. You see the most amount of inventory come on the market the end of April, May, June. Then as you head further into the summer, as you're going in towards fall, kids are going back to school, all of that, you usually see inventory start to settle back down. So we're going to watch this over the next couple of weeks and see if that's just an anomaly, and inventory starts to swing back up again, or if in fact it is the normal seasonal change. That will be quite telling for us on where inventory is going to go from here. But as you can see, even right here with the inventory going up the way it had, we are still a long way off from where the inventory we saw just in the latter part of 2019. So even though it's moving up, it's still nowhere near normal. So again, right now, you're absolutely going to see some buyer pullback because homes are less affordable than they were, especially as the interest rates have gone up. With that in mind, you are starting to see sellers and you are starting to see builders offer interest rate buy downs. So for a buyer, that's something you really want to look at, as it can be much more beneficial than a straight price reduction. If you can get that interest rate bought down and get a 30-year fixed rate somewhere in the mid fours, which, by the way, most of the experts are predicting that rates will eventually come back to. They don't think they're going to be dropping into the threes again anytime soon, if ever. Somewhere in the mid fours, if you can get a rate locked in there, that's not necessarily a bad thing, all things considered. For sellers, do you find yourself in a position where you do have to sell? Have you missed the height of the market? Yeah, for now, it looks like you have. The frenzy's not there. You're going to have to price much more competitively in order to get that property under contract. It's not going to free for all bidding that's going to push that price way, way up. So again, I'm going to continue to bring this information to you each and every week to help you keep an eye on the market so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. In the meantime, if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach us at 469-296-5230 or send an email to contact@s2realestateteam.com.